This evening, a permanent secretary shakeup may be the best way to describe the happenings at the weekend as delivered by Minister of State Joe Harmon. Former President of Guyana, Dr. Chedi Jagan, remembered by provocative exertions by another former president at Babujan on Sunday. President David Granger used his local tree planting experience to grace a primary school in the Bahamas that employs over 20 Guyanese. Immense destruction and frustration caused by early morning fire in Queens, New York, affecting Guyanese as well. In the region, huge load of drugs hauled in from a boat in the Bahamas, making it the third time for the week for the police there. And internationally, the Donald Trump presidency is now being scrutinized lyrically by poets in Washington, D.C.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Ramble Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with Basil Bradshaw.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website, safetvguyana.com. Join us. Minister of State Joseph Harmon, who has responsibility for the public sector, announced sweeping changes of government permanent secretaries at the weekend. Andrew Weeks reports that it was all based on performance and the failure of many to get the job done.
Many permanent secretaries and regional executive officers may have thought that they were attending a normal 3-day retreat and workshop at Splashman Eco Park at the weekend. But little did they know was that the government had a surprise for many. The minister, Joseph Harmon, told employees of ministries, agencies and departments of government that changes in the public service sector are critical to the provision of improved services to citizens. He referenced the performance of the ministries during 2016, where less than 50% of budgetary allocations were spent. Last year, performance in the ministry's public sector infrastructure program completion rate was miserably low, says Minister Harmon. Some claimed that they were new in the work, some were not sure what was expected, and some were just ambivalent about the consequences of not doing things at the right time. Minister Harmon went on to state that performances last year was not good and they would have to do it better this year. Harmon told the top public servant officers that they have to provide a service to the people, and when the states give you a budget to do so, get the job done. But Harmon argued, if at the end of the year you can only show 15, 20 or 30% completion, then something is wrong. We will have to make changes, Minister Harmon said. So, effective March 1, 2017, Joylyn Nestor Burrows has taken up the post of Acting Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Agriculture, replacing George Jarvis, who, along with Deputy Permanent Secretary of Finance Prema Rupnarine, have been asked to proceed on leave. Macaulette Adams will now serve as the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Health following the removal of former Permanent Secretary Trevor Thomas. Ms. Delma Ned, former Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, will now function as the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Legal Affairs, while Alfred King, who was previously Permanent Secretary of the Department of Culture, Youth and Sport, will now serve in the same capacity at the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. Mr. Vibert Welch, who served in the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, has now been moved to the Ministry of Education. Ms. Melissa Tucker, the former Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Legal Affairs, will now function as the Permanent Secretary at the Department of Culture, Youth and Sport. Former head of the Work Service Group of the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Mr. Godfrey Vaughan, has been re-elevated to the position of Permanent Secretary for that ministry, while Ms. Marlene Stevens from the Public Service Commission has now been assigned the Public Police Service Commission as the Secretary to Ms. Sophia Hunt, who is now the Acting Secretary of the Teaching Service Commission. The Permanent Secretaries of the Ministry of Natural Resources, Ministry of Social Protection, Ministry of Public Security, Ministry of Communities, Ministry of Business, Ministry of the Presidency, Department of Public Service, and the Ministry of Public Telecommunications all remain the same. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thank you, Andrew. It must have been a moment to cherish for opposition leader Barra Jagdeo as he lived up to expectations on Sunday at Babujan in the quarantine only that the former president used the opportunity at the commemoration of the 20th death anniversary of Dr. Cheddi Jagan to do so. Here is George Gonzalez with the story.
Today is the 20th anniversary of the death of the late president of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Cheddi Jagan. On Sunday, members of the party Jagan founded commemorated his passing. It was also here did opposition leader Barrett Jagdeo warn of large-scale protests if President David Granger unilaterally appoints a chairman of the Guyana Elections Commission. According to a report in Demerara Waves, Jagdeo spoke to an audience of over 1,000 persons during the commemorative ceremony at Babujan in quarantine. He said that Guyana's constitution does not provide for the president to make that such a decision on his own. He also encouraged supporters to oppose such an action, saying, "We will not take that sitting down. We will have to hit the streets running." The PPP has already said it would challenge any unilateral appointment of a GCOM chairman in the courts. The former president has also said that sugar workers would soon be called upon to engage in protests against plans to close several sugar estates throughout the nation. Jagdeo also criticized the government for a perceived lack of stimulating economic growth, running the economy on, quote, plantain chips and cook-up, instead of finding ways to stimulate the economy.
Thanks, George. President David Granger was the guest of honor at a tree planting ceremony at the Hugh W. Campbell Primary School in Freeport, Grand Bahama, where over 20 teachers of Guyanese nationality are employed. The president arrived at the school in the company of the Bahamian Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Perry Christie, to a warm reception by students and teachers of the school, whom he urged to designate March 3 as the Hugh W. Campbell Primary School Tree Planting Day. Andrew Wicks has the details.
According to ZNS Network in Bahamas, the team arrived in Grand Bahama on Friday morning along with the Right Honorable Perry Christie, President David Granger, and a team of government ministers. The first stop was at the Hugh Campbell Primary School, which was greeted with rounds of applause. The Honorable Perry Christie told the staff and students that he brought President David Granger to Grand Bahama to show him the diversity of the country.
We have been able to inform President Granger that this island is the industrial capital of the Bahamas. This is an island where you have all sorts of businesses like oil storage companies, like pharmaceutical companies. And all of this is to ensure that when you grow up, you're going to be able to have good jobs.
Prime Minister Christie also told President David Granger that even though the island had been hit by Hurricane Matthew, the people were still resilient.
So I've come to say to the President, historically, we have come to an island that has suffered many, many significant blows as a result of these natural disasters. And it has always pulled itself through. Finally, it is an island in our Commonwealth that we must look to play an even stronger role in the economy of our country.
Prime Minister Christie also took the opportunity to show off the Bahamian culture to President David Granger and team during a special musical presentation by the students. Among the staff of teachers at the Hugh W. Campbell Primary School, 20 Guyanese educators are working there. President Granger told the students and staff that he was very impressed with the level of hospitality.
Today, I'm very happy to be here. I'd like to say thank you very much to the Right Honorable Perry Gladstone Christie for bringing me here. I would like to congratulate him and his government for what he's been doing, not only for the Bahamas, but also for the entire Caribbean. The Bahamas has an outstanding record in terms of its financial services, the growth of the economy, in tourism, and of course, the friendship it has demonstrated to Guyanese professionals and to the rest of the Caribbean, showing solidarity with us in time of need.
Before leaving, President Grange also planted a tree and vowed to the students that every year on March 3rd, a tree will be sent from Guyana to signify the bond between the two countries. President Grange also attended the commissioning of a sports center where he said he has seen an effort on the part of the Prime Minister and government to ensure that young people are given the best start in life, not only in education, but in sports as well. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks again, Andrew. Coming up on Headline News after the break, that early morning fire in Queens, New York that has proved disastrous, and the million-dollar question pertaining to Guyana's oil discovery and bilateral relations with Trinidad.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Footsteps is back with great savings. It's Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale. Yes, get wholesale prices at any of the 2 Footsteps locations on Wednesday, 8th March. Hurry, because it won't last long. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town, served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from, also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
It's next level time, Guyana. Let's get ready for Love and Sunshine Destination Wedding Conference and Expo coming on April 1st and 2nd, 2017 to Guyana, South America. Come enjoy the company of Joy Agnes, Destination Wedding Specialist, Mark Jennings, TV host and lifestyle expert, Jacqueline Johnson, Destination Wedding Expert, Jerry Gavaya, CEO, Roraima Group, Angie Zimmerman, Floral Expert, and Richard Markel, founder of AFWPI. Registration US $100 before March 15, thereafter US $150. Learn from the industry experts, see floral demonstrations, network at the cocktail, and benefit from educational sessions on wedding planning. Contact us for sponsorship at info@joyagnesevents.com. Love and Sunshine Destination Wedding Conference and Expo, a must for all wedding professionals. See you there.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC? It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Yesterday, an early morning fire in Queens, New York, left millions in damage and dozens homeless. George Gonzalez has more.
On Sunday, 200 firefighters were called to the scene of a 7-alarm fire in the heart of Little Guyana. The blaze started at around 11 p.m. in Ace Caribbean Market, located at 11014 Liberty Avenue in Richmond Hill. It took firefighters over 3 hours to control the flames. The inferno severely damaged 8 buildings, leaving 4 of them completely gutted. Dozens are now left homeless. There were no fatalities. 1 firefighter sustained injuries while fighting the blaze. FDNY Fire Chief James Domingo describes the scene.
The fire was moving so quickly that it got trapped in the rear.
Authorities said there are no fire escapes on the buildings, which house commercial stores on the first floor and apartments on the second. Investigations are ongoing, but initial reports do not suggest foul play. This is George Gonzalez for Channel 2 Headline News.
We heard you, George. Is there a cocooning of Guyana and Trinidad through their bilateral relations emanating from the Twin Island Republic's bilateral relations with Venezuela regarding Guyana's oil discovery? Minister of Natural Resources Raphael Trotman takes a shot at the issue as Andrew Weeks reports that the signing of an MOU with Trinidad and Tobago is drawing near.
Last week Friday, during a media breakfast morning with Exxon and the Ministry of Natural Resources, the question was asked if Venezuela was the elephant in the room where bilateral relations between Guyana and Trinidad were concerned. Minister Trotman responded.
As far as I know, and given our last engagements with the Prime Minister, we met for several hours. The meeting lasted about 3 hours. There was no hint that Venezuela was the elephant in the room or was an issue. I believe that there were some events in Trinidad and Tobago which led to a kind of cooling off, one of them being the replacement of the Minister of Energy and Energy Industries, I believe it is the name of that ministry. And after her replacement took office, he visited an Asian country over the Christmas and fell ill. And from what I read in the Trinidad press, he had to have some surgery after, and I believe that has led to a bit of a cooling off. So my counterpart has not fully taken up his office in Trinidad, but as I said, it was agreed that in March, that is this month, there will be a high-level meeting in Port of Spain to restart this process of the joint Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago relationship.
As for the MOU between Guyana and Trinidad, Trotman said,
well, the MOU is, for all intents and purposes, at the stage of, I would say, close to signing. It just has to be tweaked. But we have settled the draft, the substantial draft. It has not gone to cabinet because, as I said, when there was a change of events, we did receive an email from Trinidad asking us to stand down because they were going through this process. So that draft could be, once a high-level meeting reconvenes and makes those arrangements and cabinet directs me, I would expect that the draft would be finalized and the signing ceremony would be in Georgetown.
Now that the government of Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago will be re-established in the Memorandum of Understanding, it will lay the framework for cooperation in the energy sector. The MOU was initiated between the two countries in 2013, but its life had come to an end. Additionally, the two governments will move to resuscitate the Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago high-level committee to deal with all the agreements between the two countries that have lapsed. This committee will be revamped by March 30th, and its first meeting will be convened in the Twill Island Republic. Meanwhile, as for training of persons at UG in the oil and gas sector, Trotman said,
I remind my colleagues in cabinet that I'm the Minister of Natural Resources. I see my role as being the person to oversee getting the resource out of the ground. So Ministry of Education should in fact be taking the lead, but that's not to say that we have totally removed ourselves from the process. So we've ensured that this year we signed an MOU with University of Guyana. Over the next 5 years, GGMC will be given $100 million to, we've raised that amount. So GGMC will be giving UG $100 million. We're also working with all of the companies that are operating in Guyana to ensure that there's some money set aside for training and capacity building. So already we are processing applications for scholarships. Persons in GGMC are being sent out. I can say as well that PSM, or rather PSD, the Public Service Department, is actively issuing scholarships. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is as well honing in on opportunities. I was just reminded by Foreign Minister last night that the government of Chile has made offers. The government of Mexico and its Petroleum Institute, they are getting ready to sign an MOU with us for the establishment of a petroleum institute in Guyana. Hopefully we will base it at University of Guyana. But also there is a component in that for training at universities in Mexico.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Good for you, Andrew. A diamond man has been charged with illegal possession of a pistol and ammunition. George Gonzalez has more.
On Friday, Chief Magistrate Ann McLennan sentenced Delson Wayne of Diamond Housing Scheme with a fine and imprisonment for 18 months. Wayne was fined $60,000 after being found guilty of having in his possession on October 6, 2016, an illegal gun and ammunition. In determining the appropriate sentence, the Chief Magistrate considered the time the accused had spent on remand while waiting for the trial, as well as the nature of the offense. Wayne, during trial, had opted to defend himself rather than to retain legal representation. He had seemed optimistic of being freed and continued to maintain his innocence even after sentencing. He has been on remand since his arrest in front of Channel 2 studios in October last. This is George Gonzalez for Channel 2 Headline News.
Still ahead, the success of the Bahamas police on the sea regarding drug busts, and what the poets say in Washington about Donald Trump's presidency.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
It's next level time, Guyana. Let's get ready for Love and Sunshine Destination Wedding Conference and Expo coming on April 1st and 2nd, 2017 to Guyana, South America. Come enjoy the company of Joy Agnes, Destination Wedding Specialist, Mark Jennings, TV host and lifestyle expert, Jacqueline Johnson, Destination Wedding Expert, Jerry Gavaya, CEO, Roraima Group, Angie Zimmerman, Floral Expert, and Richard Markel, founder of AFWPI. Registration US $100 before March 15, thereafter US $150. Learn from the industry experts, see floral demonstrations, network at the cocktail, and benefit from educational sessions on wedding planning. Contact us for sponsorship at info@joyagnesevents.com. Love and Sunshine Destination Wedding Conference and Expo, a must for all wedding professionals. See you there.
Footsteps is back with great savings. It's Footsteps Customer Appreciation Day sale. Yes, get wholesale prices at any of the 2 Footsteps locations on Wednesday, 8th March. Hurry, because it won't last long. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
It's always fresh, tasty, enticing, and the best in town, served hot from our experienced chefs. Come and enjoy our daily meals with a wide and delicious menu to choose from. Also a wide variety of pastries and dessert. We can also host your luncheons, cocktails, parties, and formal gathering. For reservation, call 225-1730, 225-0038, and delivery 225-0195 or 225-0159. The new thriving Chinese restaurant, 32 Main Street, Georgetown.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's for dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now. On Friday last in the Bahamas, police hauled in another major load of drugs, a third for the week. 7 suspects were brought to the capital after police, along with Drug Enforcement Unit officers and their counterparts from the U.S., intercepted a boat off Abaco. ZNS Network News reports.
7 suspects were brought to the capital after police, along with the Drug Enforcement Unit officers and their U.S. counterparts, intercepted a boat off Abaco. Our Janae Noel Ferguson has details.
A 24-hour surveillance operation by Drug Enforcement Unit officers and their U.S. counterparts that began in the southern Bahamas resulted in the seizure of more than $1 million worth of cocaine and the arrest of 7 Haitian nationals. They were on board a 90-foot vessel in waters off Abaco in the northern Bahamas early Thursday morning. The drugs and suspects were transported to the capital late Thursday night at the police marine base on East Bay Street. Commander of the Drug Enforcement Unit, Chief Superintendent Samuel Butler, explained how law enforcement officers were able to intercept the vessel and capture the alleged drug smugglers.
And in the very early morning, we were able to intercept a 90-foot steel-hulled freighter with the 7 occupants on board. As Police intercepted the suspect, began to eject a number of packages into the water. Those packages were collected. They were examined, and we determined them to be cocaine. Further examination revealed that it was some 77 packages weighing some 219 pounds. We estimate the street value of the cocaine at $1.1 million.
Superintendent Butler noted that the vessel transporting the drugs has been on the radar of police officials for quite some time.
That particular vessel is known to the police. It's come to our attention on several occasions, and it is a freighter that commutes between Haiti through Inagua and to the northern Bahamas. And so we're pleased that our intelligence was on point at this time, and we are able to net the success that we have today.
As the transshipment and production of cocaine has increased in the last 10 years, Butler says the criminal link between Haiti and the Bahamas is a trend they continue to monitor.
Well, when we examine the drug trafficking trend, most of it remains very much the same, but we are able to tell you from an intelligence point of view that there a great collaboration between Haiti and other South American countries. We are able to say that based on intelligence, that there's a great network where we suspect that cocaine will continue to be stockpiled and continue to make its transit down through the chain and on to United States of America.
Now, it's the third major drug bust in 7 days. Now, Butler said that he's pleased with the success as police make inroads in the fight against the drug trade, which contributes to serious crime in the country.
But we're really, really pleased with the network involving the other countries and our close sharing of intelligence or timely intelligence that gave us this kind of success.
Now, according to Butler, the 7 nationals in this recent drug raid are expected to face charges soon. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNAS Network News.
And internationally, poets, through their poetry in Washington, D.C., shared their lyrical reflections on the Trump presidency. BBC News reports.
Mr. Trump, my black history may be a mystery or compared to yours an afterthought, since Black History Month is literally the only time my history gets taught. And while your Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers about crowd sizes instead, you should have Google searched 122-year-old Frederick Douglass, who is dead.
This dude is a straight fool. Anything he doesn't want to hear, he calls fake news. And why should our boys respect women, yo? Commander in tweets said, grab him by the genitals. Joker in the White House with Nicholson's smile. Heath Ledger's scars and Jared Leto's style. And a Suicide Squad for the cabinet. And got at least 4 years to see how bad it get.
Because orange may be the new, but never the new black. If you can't appreciate the legacy of the old black, insert legacy of Frederick Douglass here. For Ben Carson will never be able to convince us that you have a heart, nor Omarosa that you have a brain, but trust me, we see you, cowardly liar.
So in this new world disorder, where feelings trump facts and hateful sentiments trump decent acts, how do you love those vitriolic voters vehemently opposed to loving themselves? I guess you could kill them with kindness, but you can't use kindness to kill something lifeless or anything else for that matter, because kindness isn't a weapon, or at least it shouldn't be.
And that's Channel 2's headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find the Channel 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and safetvguyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 in the morning for a rebroadcast. Until then, I'm Basil Bradshaw, signing out from your newscast.